Numerous factors in forex trading have a direct impact on your success as a forex trader. I believe that finally there is consensus among tutors and teachers, forex gurus online. Many of them agree that the top 3 success factors are risk management, trading psychology, and then in last place is actually the trading entries and the strategies. Some trading mentors will go a step further now and debate the order of importance of these 3 and then make the bold claim that risk management is the top most important factor and that without an understanding of it, then you are doomed. And I agree. The most important aspect of forex trading and education that can make or break you as a trader is risk management. So how much to risk? How many pips? What percentage? Where should I place my stops and my targets? Without a solid understanding of this concept, you will fall into the 90 to 99 percentile of losing or break-even traders. Trader psychology. Very, very important. Your account will take a hit if this part is not right. The trade entries and the strategy or the technique for getting yourself into the trade, pulling the trigger, this is important stuff, extremely important. But without the top 2 in place, the psychology and the risk management, then your account will suffer. These 3 factors are all interwound. But the thing is, we come back to risk management. In my book, this will almost always take the first spot as number 1. Your success depends on risk management. There are numerous schools of thought on risk and money management. I found some decent advice all over the internet. Simply doing a Google search for risk management in forex trading, you'll come up with a host of very good advice, nice ideas. And then YouTube has many videos that cover the topic very, very well. But also YouTube also has some great advice on how to lose weight, how to stop smoking, how to stop drinking, many bad habits. It has advice on almost any topic that you want to become a master at. But most of it probably works if you can stick to it. Unfortunately, nobody does. We all know what to do to get a six-pack or a leaner looking body, but the percentage, 99% of us will probably not be able to stick to the rules long enough to see the results we want. It's just human nature. So we do have some great information on how we should manage our risk. But we're fallible creatures. We find it difficult to stick to a set of rules and risk management parameters. There are some great risk management tools out there. It helps you with calculating your risk automatically. Tools that makes taking trades easier. We don't have to physically sit there and calculate what our monetary risk value per pip is. We now have tools that help us do this more quickly and easier than ever before. But until now, we did not have a tool that forces us to stick to our rules and risk management parameters. We need something that will protect us from ourselves, stop us from revenge trading, risking too much per trade, stop us from moving our stops, hoping that prices will eventually turn into our favor. Mark Chapman from the Chapman Way and Ian Tetlow, a former Deutsche Bank tech genius, has put together a risk management software that does what it claims on the box. It stops you from blowing your account because it forces you to stick to your risk management parameters long enough so that you can learn to become a successful trader. This makes it impossible for you to blow your account. This tool, you can stay in the game for as long as it takes to learn the skills that you need to make money constantly. Oh yes, did I forget to mention that this is a free tool that works on MetaTrader. I'm going to play a video now where Mark and Ian talks in more detail about this remarkable tool, guys, and how you can get a hold of it. the kill switch.
Cool.
Right.
Ian Tatlow, how are you doing?
Good, thank you, mate. What's happening?
Ian's the brains behind this operation. I'm the good looks, obviously.
Yeah, all right. At least I got some hair left.
Yeah, boom. Right, so the kill switch is finally here. We're basically ready to start changing the industry and putting the power back in control of the people where it belongs. It never has been there. It's going to be there and away from the brokers. So it's an anti-establishment thing. If you hate the banks, if you hate your broker, the kill switch is where you need to be, because not only is it free, it's going to protect you from every single type of trading dread you can imagine, providing your broker that you've currently got is with MT4. Or if you're new to this game and you're looking at opening a brokerage account, please make sure you download the kill switch before you do such a thing, so that we can protect you. What we're here to do is be a third-party protection of essentially on your behalf, so that the brokers. So the problem is, the brokers give you a modicum of protection. They say he's a stop loss, but they also give you free will. So it's look, don't touch, don't taste, but don't you swallow. It's like he's a stop loss, you can cancel it. He's a position that you shouldn't exceed in terms of risk, but you can have any amount of position size and any amount of trades run in that can just destroy your account. Every conceivable way that you can think of that you would be able to hurt yourself, we've reverse engineered that process and finally got to the point where we've got a viable product to put to the market. Again, it's free, 100% free. This is us trying to clean up the industry and ultimately help the user. And if you've got anything to add to that,
No, I can't say more on that, mate. You said it all for me.
Pretty much everything covered. So by proxy as well, what's important about this is you're not going to be able to blow your trading account. So revenge trading is a thing of the past. You're not going to be able to average into a position to the extent where you are going to have the ability to take multiple positions in a trade, but it's very measured, and it can't and will not exceed a certain amount of predetermined risk already set in stone. So the kill switch is going to have a beginner. At the minute, you can see in that top right where it says risk profile information. Ian's currently on the pro risk trader setting. You ultimately, if you see the number of trades there, graduate. I don't know if you can highlight that here. Or if
where the mouse is circling at the moment. We got a current number at 22.
Yeah, so it's 22 trades through a 50 trade process, which then allows him to then go up in risk. So as you get better and you obviously start trading, because that's the beauty of the kill switch as well. It's not just, we're trying to protect you from essentially what is the emotional primitive limbic system, the brain stem, the fight or flight lizard brain. We're also by proxy going to create traders, because the issue that traders have is that they never become traders because the limbic system gets them, the primitive brain, fight or flight gets them, and they never string 10, 20, 50, 100 good trades together. So they don't really trade. They're just taking a trade, they get caught up in the emotions, and then they never move forward. And in that emotional state, that's when all the trading dreads of cancelling your stop, adding to losers, taking just wild trades, position size all over the place. That's where all that takes place. So what we do is we have a beginning, intermediate, and so on, pro level, where you essentially you only get to that next level once you've strung together 50 good trades. And obviously, for the first time ever, you're going to be trading, and half the problem with trading is people's inability to keep moving forward. So you're not going to feel like you want to move forward, but the kill switch is going to force that upon you. So ultimately, you get to learn how to deal with all those emotions and then develop that skill set, because it's all very well taking trades and executing on a trade. You've also got to understand and be able to develop the skills of how you stay in a trade, how you develop those mental skill sets of dealing with the cut and thrust of a trade. This is what this does for you, that part of the software. But rather than going into this specifically straight away, could you show us a chart, Ian, of just what this looks like? So the kill switch is going to be a social platform in the end, and this is the main hub where there's lots of things going to come in there, but for now we just want to talk about the actual protection it's going to provide for you.
Yeah. So just to add to that quickly, Mark, this is all evidence based. So every bit of activity that a trader makes in terms of their risk, moving stops, moving take profit, it's all recorded, and that's in a database on the internet. So that's the idea is because we capture all that information, we can replay that back to the trader themselves. So they're not having to think about recording all that themselves. We now create journals and things like that for them.
Great, and some of that journaling is, we'll get to that another day, but some of that journaling is really detailed. Like, you're going to get photos of your chart analysis, am I right? And that's all collected in the data as well. Some super cool features. But as I say, there's lots coming with the Kill Switch. We want it to become basically a hub, a social platform where we keep you guys safe, and then we flourish as traders as a result of that. And
connected as well, because most traders they in a room on their own, they're trading against themselves, so they're just by proxy, by having that hub, they're all going to be connected one way or another. And if they are starting to lose track of their process, then we can get in contact with them straight away. And I think that's an important thing to think.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's education within all of that, but with one main sort of string going through the whole thing, like a main theme, is that everyone's protected. There is nobody, literally nobody, who uses this free software that is absolutely revolutionary. It's absolutely industry changing. The brokers are going to hate us, and that's the idea, because and I'll get to that in just a sec, but no one's going to be able to blow their account, right? So it's literally a community of people where you're going to get the ability to become a trader. It has to be forced upon you because of what we've created.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just want to touch on that one thing about the broker thing. People say, oh, well, retail traders don't make up enough money. It's, who cares about a micro account? That's correct. But what you want to do is you want to have a look at the Bank of International Settlements. And every 3 years, they're the only people who do. The Bank of International Settlements, if you don't know, is the central bank of all central banks in Switzerland. It's the pinnacle of central banking, and they publish these numbers, but not regularly. And what you will read if you have a look at that, I believe one's due this year or next. So the data lags a little bit, but basically it shows that it's about, retail make up about 7% of the daily trading volume. It's huge. Collectively, individually it's nothing. Collectively, it's huge, and it's dumb. Their words, not mine, or they would call it uninformed. Essentially, it's a polite way of saying dumb. And it's easy, it's low-hanging fruit, and it's very liquid money. It's that spot liquid. So, these traders where they take trades, etc., is very predictable, and that's low-hanging fruit for the industry, and that's what we're going to try and put a dent in. So it is a big deal because collectively it's a big deal. So
awesome, mate.
Okay, so tell me, just explain what we have there, that little heartbeat thing.
Yeah, sure. So we're currently integrated with MetaTrader. We're looking to expand into other platforms, but we needed to focus on one platform just to get things up and running. Yeah. But in order to make sure that we're always connected, this heartbeat monitor is just part of the software component that we had to install into MetaTrader. The problem with MetaTrader, same with all the platforms, is that they're all open platforms. They allow you to do things that are going to destroy your account. So this is the software element that we install into MetaTrader. So whenever you place in trades, it's always through this particular client tool that we've got in the top right corner.
So just on that then, Ian, so what we've done here is we've created like a bridge between the broker, the customer, and us, and that's how we're protecting them through this little bit of technology here. So what I want to highlight here as well is, just on the user experience, there's a reason people use MetaTrader 4 in the millions, and it's not the greatest platform on planet Earth. It is easy to use. It lacks tons of features, but for whatever reason, people find it very easy, and it's the industry standard in the FX market. Anyone who's a broker's licenses it and provides it as a service.
It's been around for years. It's never going to disappear. So
no,
and people are used to.
And this is what we've gone to, and why that's important. Just on this point of being able to take a trade through that bridge, is what I want to highlight is this. We know you like MT4, right? We know you love it. So the point, one of the driving forces behind the development of the software was that we didn't want to ruin your user experience in any way. We wanted it to stay as close to how you would to go about your daily business in MT4 as humanly possible. But at the same time, we did have to create the software. So there are certain things, i.e. this, taking a trade through this bridge. But guys, honestly, and you'll see it yourself as soon as you use it, it's easier than taking a trade in MetaTrader. So if you want to just sort of highlight that thing.
Yeah, so if we click on the new order button, what happens is we've got two options here. But you go through a process when you're creating a trade. First, you select the execution type that you want to do. So we've got two options here. That's the market execution, which is when placing an order, literally while you're on the chart there, and then, or there's a pending order where you want to get in at a certain price and just close down your machine and go away and do your activities.
Yeah.
So that's the first step. Then the second step is obviously setting your risk tolerance, and this is where most people go wrong. They put in position sizes too high. They're not setting the stops. They're not thinking about the take profit, and this is where you set all that stuff up. So I won't go into too much of the detail, but this is where you set it at the moment.
And can I just say something on that? So what you as the user of the kill switch, you're going to have some flexibility within there, because if you go back to that prior screen, if you could just bring it up a second.
Yeah.
You might be a beginner trader, but you have essentially you have some risk parameters, like say an amount of trades you can take in a day. We won't go into all those details, but a weekly loss limit, a daily loss limit, a monthly loss limit, whatever space you have in there. If you go back onto the chart, please, Ian.
Yeah, sorry, I've got multiple screens here, so it's just going to take a while.
So whatever those presets are, you have that flexibility within that set your risk tolerance. You could go and you could use all of your risk tolerance if you wanted to in that one particular trade. It would still be within the confines of what we deem to be okay. Or you've got the flexibility to come below it and have multiple trades, etc. But still working within the confines of that beginner, intermediate, pro level risk tolerance. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So you can only go up to a certain level.
Got it.
With each profile, I find the maximum. Yeah, so you got a minimum risk and a maximum risk. So on the pro trader, it's quite high, obviously, because the risk tolerances open up as you go through these profiles. But for risk traders, beginners,
beginner traders, it's obviously less. Yeah,
a lot less.
Yeah. Yeah, and the reason we're doing that, guys, is again to protect you, manage that risk, keep you moving forward in this disciplined fashion, and ultimately that by proxy is going to create the profitable trader that you all are trying to get to. And so we're not going to get bogged down in those details, but I hope that's clear. You're going to have that adjustment in there. And then the final thing is just buy and sell, isn't it? Just a market order. It's just boom.
Just click on buy and sell, and then you're in on the market. So that's market execution. Pending orders very similar as well. But we just tried to make it as easy as we possibly can. So you have this ability to set your entry at a specific point, and move your stops. This would be a buy stop, but you can see that the volume, saying it's too small at the moment. It's because of the risk here. So if I was to set that a little bit higher, let's say 0.05, it allows me to place my order. Yeah, because you got the volume's too small, you see. So depending on your account size, you're gonna hit thresholds with this stuff.
And just on this as well, this is a real key point where it says review the kill switch risk assessment. Sorry, the kill switch risk assessment. The kill switch will automatically work out how much risk you're going to be, what your position size on the trade will be. So one of the downsides to taking trades in MetaTrader is that you basically got to get a pen and paper out on a calculator and work out your risk. Whereas, and go and understand the exchange differences, etc. for those currencies. It does it all automatically. This is why that point I made earlier. It's easier to take a trade through the kill switch than it is to actually take a trade through MetaTrader 4. And again, we made that one of our central focuses.
Just to add to that as well, a lot of traders don't take into account things like spread and swaps, stuff like that. So there's more features. I mean, that's just talking about the risk management at this point, execution.
Yeah. And if you want to cancel an order, or you decide you don't want to take a trade, you just hit that button and then it reduces the screen. It's not offensive, it's not in the way, and it's a small, it's kind of cool as well, and it's a small price to pay for what it's going to do. Now on the face of it, you'll go, okay, I get that, it's managing my risk, but I can just cancel a stop. I can take in multiple trades outside of this, right? Can I do those things, like all these sort of ways that I can circumvent my own sort of risk? This is basically the crowning glory of the kill switch, what I'll let Ian explain.
So it's going to be a bit difficult to explain it without opening up a trade, and we're into Saturday and all the markets are closed at the moment. But if we had a trade open on MetaTrader, you could potentially go into the terminal. There's different ways you could go around it. So if we was trying to get into the terminal, you probably heard that noise then, and it closed it all down because traders fiddle with their trades through these things. We're just limiting what they can and can't do.
What you can and can't do. So you can try and circumvent this. So someone might say, well, just turn the expert advisors off. You can't. Yeah. Someone will say, well, I'll just uninstall it. And this is another key point, that this software is so bulletproof. It'll actually come up as if it's a virus when you're installing it. Now, you don't want to panic because it's not a virus. The reason it thinks it is because it is so bulletproof. Every conceivable way that you can think of to circumvent this thing, to if you're in a revenge trading mode, and I'm sure a lot of you who are listening to this have been there, you're just freaking out, you just want to get your money back, you want to take that revenge. We have to protect you to the point where, if there's no point, there was no reason to do this unless we had it bulletproof, and part of it is this. Your Microsoft computer will go, oh my God, this is a virus. It's not a virus because you can uninstall it, but we want to delay in that process, so you get like an exit authorization code. Because what we want is, we don't want you to uninstall it, then go and smash your account. We want you to ask to uninstall it, and then we can understand whether or not you just don't like the software, which is fine. We shake hands and you move on with your day. It's free, so it's not, you've lost nothing. Or we understand that actually you're in a lizard brain emotional state and you actually don't want to uninstall it. You were just freaking out, and that's so critical, because you're going to be able to go through these emotions with the software and actually not fall victim to them. This is what the industry preys on, the fact that when you're going into that lizard brain, that primitive brain state, fight or flight, you will self-harm, and then no fine well you'll self-harm, and that's why the risk is so terrible.
Yeah. So I just demonstrated very quickly some of the other features on this stuff, because a lot of traders, they like the idea of automation. They put all these expert advisors on there, they go away and it's creating trades for them, stuff like that, but we don't approve of that kind of behavior. So if you come along and you've got an expert and we don't know what it is, you drop that onto a chart, it will close the chart down. We don't want that interfering with our products. It just affects the fidelity of what we're trying to achieve here. So it's just a carte blanche, cut everything off. Yeah. If you try to close the chart and circumvent the bridge this way, because as you know with MetaTrader, expert advisors that you drop on charts go away when you close the chart down. So our connection to the kill switch stops at that point, but we've got a software which reloads it back up automatically, so we've always got that connection going.
Bingo. So any type of, literally, like, guys, I want to like really make this point. Anywhere that you would have previously been able to circumvent something that would potentially help you, which there's never been anything to this degree, you just cannot do it. It will not let you do it, and this is why it's bomb proof. It's going to create traders. It's going to make you disciplined by proxy. It's going to force the discipline, and it's going to change the industry if we have anything to do with it. So tell your friends about this software. Give it away. Give the link away as soon as we're not quite ready to give the link away. There's a tiny bit of testing happening now, and we're thinking about. But probably in the next week or so, it's going to be massively available. So if you're like chomping at the bit to get your hands on this first version of the kill switch proper, then basically put a comment in below. Keep an eye out for videos coming on the channel, because we're obviously then going to let you know that it's available. We'll probably do another video next week in a live market scenario, so you can actually see the mechanics of it in real time. But guys, this is our gift to the community. There's non-nefarious reasons behind this. We want to create a community that is safe to trade the financial markets in a professional manner, away from the brokers, the grip and the ruthlessness of the brokerage industry, and make it a safe endeavor for everybody involved. And gone are the days, hopefully this is our dream, that where people blow tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of pounds from home because they fell into that emotional trap that is just wide open and has been there since day dot. So this puts a stop to it. I want the brokers to hate us. I want you to want to believe that the brokers are going to hate this, because you'll believe in it, and you'll share it with your friends and tell everybody about it. And they'll slag it off if you maybe mention it in a broker webinar or something like that. Ignore them completely. They're the ones who've been raping you and the people, the normal people who've been taking millions and millions and billions of pounds off us for years and years and years. And this puts a stop to it, which is why please share it, please tell your friends about it. We're here to change the industry and stick one up the establishment while we're on. So Ian, sorry.
Mark, yeah, I just wanted to say, would you agree this is not signals, this is purely risk management and trade management. This is what we created here.
Yeah, and psychological management, right?
Yeah.
It's a completely bomb-proof piece of kit that's taken 5-6 years to develop, 2 years to make, and it's literally designed so you cannot blow your account. You cannot blow your account. It's over. It's finished. A thing of the past, which is why people have to share this software and tell everybody in their Telegram chats, in WhatsApp groups, in trading forums, your Skype contacts, Facebook. Tell everybody that the kill switch is coming, the kill switch is here, and if you trade using the kill switch, we are literally going to look after you. The brokers can't get their hands on your money for the first time ever, and we can become the powerful. We can take the power away from those establishments and stick one up them while we're on. So I just think that story's wonderful. The time is now. Let's change the industry. And Ian, I'd like to personally give you a huge thank you for obviously being the brains behind putting all these ideas together. And let's change the world, man. Well, let's change the world in our little world.
Yeah.
That's what
I'm looking forward to getting in people's hands now. It's time. It ain't perfect, but we're going to get there.
Yeah, and when he says it ain't perfect, it is perfect in terms of risk management. You can't blow your account up. It is utterly bomb-proof as far as that's concerned. But there's obviously, we've got development. We want it to be a social platform. The eToros of this world are going to hate us because they've got a gaping hole in the business model, and we're going to exploit that. So, yeah, with that, Ian, thank you very much for all your efforts. Thank you very much for being on this call. And guys, just tell everybody, comment in the section, like this video if you like this video, and share the shit out of it. Take care.